Hello YouTube, it's Maxwell House here, and this is a video on my community reptile amphibian half land half water terrarium. Completed this over the summer. This is kind of a job slash goal I wanted to do, trying to get done over the summer, and finally, well, it's been complete for a couple of weeks now, but I'm just now getting to making a video of it. So yeah, let's get a close-up here. We'll pan by, pan up, look real quick, and then I'll get into the details. But what we got going on in here, we got half land, half water, and to do that I went to my local hardware store, purchased I forget the dimensions or size of the piece of glass, but it was about that thick, as you can see. And I used 100% silicone and sealed that in there. 100% silicone is the only sealant you can basically use that's non-toxic to any of the animals. You can also use it to reseal aquariums and whatnot. But yeah, so that's what separates the land and the water. I have soil over here. It's just cheap, all natural, no fertilizers, no chemicals soil from Home Depot. They're like 69 cents a bag, really freaking cheap. Yeah, I've kind of plant-wise, here's what we got going on. There's three different plants in there, and I kind of have them just sporadically spaced out through the tank. There's like a couple. I'm not too sure on the names of them, but there are a couple of different ones, like this crawling guy. He's over here and over there, two different spots. And this, I'm not sure what that is, but you can see kind of showing the big leafed green two-tone leaf color right there. I think he's pretty cool looking. They've been growing quite well. The live ones, that's a live one there. They actually have purple underleaves, which I find really cool. If you can see there, the leaves are like reddish purple. They've been doing really well in the tank, giving them water and keeping the soil moist and having a light source. They're perfect conditions. So there are also fake plants in there. Oh, and this is hornwort, in which I grabbed out of this tank, this fish tank here on the right, 20 gallon long. I have two tanks over here, which I'll get to another video later, but I have hornwort, as you can see, growing in there, and it's been going buck nutty, so I just took a little bit off, snapped a little bit off the other night, and threw it in here, and I really like it. It looks cool floating in there. But there are also fake plants too, like the one in the corner is fake, the one hanging up there is fake, and the one I have kind of rigged in the corner there, hanging down up from the atrium down into the tank, is fake as well. That's just for climbing, for shelter and hiding spaces. The moss is also real, which I have kind of tucked in the shape of this log, which I purchased at my local pet store, which is the only log I purchased at the pet store. All the rest of the sticks and logs in here I found in my yard and out while hiking in the Cleveland Metro Parks. Cleveland's where I'm from, by the way. On top of the soil I have repti bark, which helps with humidity and moisture in the air. The anoles, and especially the anoles, the house gecko, and the long-tailed grass lizard, all enjoy humid weather, prefer it. So there's actually a cave back there underneath all this. Is really hard to see, but you can kind of see it. he's in there. The toads like to go in there every once in a while for some dark, cool, moist area, you know, versus being in the pond all day. But I have the stream, which I created out of, this is the top view of it. I created this out of corrugated black, just basic landscaping pipe that I found at my landscaping job at one of the sites we were at. I was just kind of thrown away, and I took it, cut it in half, and used it as a stream, and I love it. I saw it actually in a previous YouTube video of one of my friends, and I liked it so much that I actually kind of stole a page out of his book, I guess. Oh well, but yeah, and for the stream I have I don't know what the details on the pumps are, but you can see the wire right there, and it's kind of buried under gravel, so it's really hard to see. I kind of wanted to make everything, you know, not visible, that wasn't natural looking. But that's powering, the pump has a tube coming up and over underneath the log there, and then you can actually see it right there, the plastic coming up and over through that brick, which then drains out into the stream. It looks really cool. I fucking love the stream. It looks awesome. My favorite part of the tank. And then I also have another pump down here, and that one acts as the filter. It actually has a filter pad and carbon in it, which keeps the water nice and crystal clear and keeps little disgusting things out of the water. Occasionally I get some repty bark that kind of floats in there from the frogs jumping in and out of the water, but you know, that's no big deal. Let's get on to the heating source and lighting source. I have two, not sure on the wattage of the actual lamp, but the bulb inside of this lamp here is a 60-watt basking bulb, which is directly above the basking area. And right now the temperature gauge in the back reads about 86 degrees, which is a pretty good temperature for the basking spot. It can go as high as 100, and it's fine as long as, you know, there's a different area in the tank that can go off and, you know, get some cooler air, I guess. But I forgot to mention the temperature gauges I have. I have 3 temperature gauges, one on the right-hand side here, one in the middle by the basking spot, and then one up top in the atrium. The one in the middle is crucial, obviously, because it's the temperature of the basking spot, and these other two help me maintain temperature readings throughout the tank, so there's a good variation. The other gauge in the back next to the red one, the green one, is actually a humidity gauge, and that helps me read, or helps me keep track of, you know, what the humidity is like in there. The lizards, they especially like extra humid air. As far as keeping that up, the plants and the repty bark and whatnot help maintain that during the evening hours and night hours, but I also do spray them every morning, give them a real good spray down the whole tank, and it gets nice and humid in there, and I also spray it down once before I go to bed, and that also helps as well. So twice a day. Back to the lighting, like I was talking about, and the other lamp, I think this is where I left off. The other lamp up here is, I do not know the wattage on the bulb, but I believe it's just a regular old small house lamp bulb, which I only really have up there to give off some heat and also light for the plants, because you know, they grow in the light's direction. So, you know, I want them to kind of grow into this area, this atrium area up here, and they'll get there eventually. But and then this is the UVB light fluorescent and both UVA, which are these two lamps, and this lamp UVB are crucial for really any lizard, but anoles, grass lizards, house geckos, chameleons, iguanas, really any lizard requires both UVA and UVB light for nutrients, and they naturally in the wild get that from the sun. So what we're doing basically is mimicking the sun with these three lamps. Well, mostly these two, but I guess you could say all three. As for this little top area, I actually just took the black top and bent it up at about a 45-degree angle, or a little more, I'm not quite sure, I didn't really measure it exactly, but and then built around it this kind of caged-in area. It's like a treetop kind of climbing area for the lizards. A little more room to crawl around, I guess, because I felt like this long aquarium needed some height to it, especially with lizards, you know, crawling up and down. But I think it's pretty cool the way it came out. I also fabricated a door on the back for easy access of reaching in and feeding. They are fed every other day, and then on every other day I alternate sprinkling their food with their foods. They eat most arthropods, but I normally feed them mealworms and crickets. Crickets are their main diet. This is reptocalcium. It's basically calcium and vitamin D in a bottle in a powdered form, and you just kind of dust the crickets with them, and that also is an insurance on them getting their calcium and vitamin D for strong bones. And yeah, this is my tank. Let's introduce you to the animals. So this is the green anole. You've probably seen him going around as I'm explaining the tank. He's been up and down here and there, but here's a good look at him. I don't know if you noticed before, and I don't know if you can see now, but he's actually missing his tail, and that happened when I was cleaning out the tank. I was going to take out the animals and put them in a separate tank so that I could clean out the tank, and I was coming up from behind him, and he slipped away, and I grabbed his tail, and literally within 2 seconds it came off. There was nothing I could do. It's unfortunate, but he'll grow a new one, so I guess, you know, no big deal. But he's healthy. He looks healthy. He's nice and plump, and his cheeks are not, you know, deflated, so, and kind of pushed in looking, so, and that's what happens when they become dehydrated and haven't had any food. Is actually, if you can see those little triangles on his cheeks underneath his eyes will actually kind of go into his face, and it'll look very bone looking, like there's no, you know, meat on his bones. So that's always something to watch out for. But that's the anole. The house gecko is somewhere. He's in here. I gotta find him. He's a tricky little fucker, but there he is, kind of crawling off in the back there. Here's a good view of him. Came right out in the open. There he is. So that's the house gecko, and there is also a long-tail grass lizard, and he's up in the tree. He's in there. I don't know if you can possibly see his tail, I guess. Up in the left-hand corner where I'm leaving my light, there's his tail, but he hides real well, so he's up in the tree there, and he loves it on that tree and this ledge. 2 fire-belly toads, and they're on the water side, one of which is right there. He's nice and fat. Nice and fat. And the other fire-belly toad, which I just recently got him about a month ago. He was kind of thin in the store, and I figured I'd get him to help him raise him back to health, and he's definitely put some weight on, which is a good thing. And right now he's not looking too green, but over in the UVA light area he turns a very, very vibrant, almost like the hornwort green color. In contrast with the black spots, it's just gorgeous. I love it. So those are the two fire-belly toads. Here is the dwarf water frog. He likes to he lives in the pond here with the two toads. He just eats fish food. Really just fish food. That's all I feed him, and he's happy on that. So no complaints from him. Here is the green tree frog, and he loves it up in this atrium as well. Preferably this little branch that I'm kind of circling right here with the light. About the highest point in the tank, which it's very common for tree frogs, green tree frogs especially, to find the highest point, obviously, because they're tree frogs. And yeah, this is my community terrarium. We'll roll back here, take a final view. Very proud of it, that is for sure. Thanks. See you later.